Hey guys, this is your host Eric. Today we are going to watch sci-fi genre movie called Selfless. Spoilers ahead, turn on your subtitle, I greatly appreciate your support. Enjoy the video. Damien Hale, a successful businessman and billionaire, looks out of his skyscraper apartment in New York City through large glass windows. Behind him, a nurse is packing up her tools and getting ready to leave. The billionaire has cancer that will kill him in about 6 months. Later, at lunch with his best friend Martin, he talks about how he still hasn't told his daughter Claire about his illness. Damien's relationship with Claire isn't good because he worked too much when Claire was a child and didn't spend enough time with her. Martin thinks that if Claire knows about the illness, she will forgive him and they will quickly make up before Damien and Martin ways. Martin tells the billionaire that he has never heard of shedding. Damien tries to call Claire while he's in his limo, but she doesn't answer. Then he pulls out a business card from a company called Phoenix Biogenetic and thinks back to a conversation he had with Dr. Albright. A doctor's main goal in life is to find a way for the smartest people to live longer and reach their full potential. He has made a machine that can move a person's mind from one body to another. This is called shedding. People who are willing to pay a lot of money can get new bodies that have been genetically engineered to be perfect. Damien remembers when he asked the doctor why their service was still. Albright said that the questions he asked were wrong. The right thing to ask is, do you feel immortal? Damien goes to see Claire, who runs a non-profit organization, to make things right before he dies. After going through these memories and deciding whether or not to take Albright's offer, he has been thinking about whether or not to accept Albright's offer. He gives his daughter money, but he doesn't tell her that he is sick. She won't take the money because she thinks he's trying to trick her into thinking that his checkbook will fix everything. Damien is sad about how things turned out and is sitting in his office. With Claire wanting another chance at life so much, he keeps looking into shedding and the Phoenix Biogenic. He finds out that Dr. Jensen came up with the procedure and watches a video of him explaining the idea behind it. Jensen wanted to separate the mind from the body so that people could continue to live even after their bodies die. But while Damien is looking into shedding, he starts coughing up blood. He is starting to lose control of his illness, so when he wakes up with breathing tubes in his nose, he calls Albright to set up the surgery. Albright tells him that after the switch, he won't be able to talk to anyone and his old life will be gone. He also tells him to go to New Orleans and lie about dying in front of everyone. The next day, Damien is on a plane and calls Martin to ask if they can meet for lunch in New Orleans. Before they meet, he goes to a graveyard in New Orleans and buries a mysterious box near one of the graves. Damien pretends to have a seizure and falls on the floor during lunch with Martin. Martin gets scared and calls 911, but instead of taking him to the hospital, the ambulance takes the billionaire to Phoenix Biogenic. They start the procedure quickly by giving Damien a shot and putting him in the machine, aware of everything. Even though the bright lights and loud sounds make him feel worse, his thoughts and feelings quickly move into the new young body. When Damien turns his head, he sees his old body lying in shock and disgust on the floor. He throws up Albright and tells him it will take a few days to get used to the new environment, while Damien starts hallucinating. Things start to change shape, and he sees a picture of horses in a field. Then, in a sarcastic way, the doctor says that death has side effects. Damien has to stay in the hospital and get used to his new body through training and physical therapy. Damien has to learn a fake biography and a new name because he can't go back to his old life. Edward Kidner. After a short time of being confused and desperate, he starts to like his new, more attractive self, but the hallucinations and headaches don't go away. Albright tells him that his mind is still not used to the new neural structure, so he gives him pills to help him adjust. Damien might die or have severe headaches and hallucinations if he doesn't take them. Also, he has to stay in New Orleans so that he can stay in touch with Albright and get his weekly supply of pills. After Damien finishes the training he started in New Orleans, he moves into a big, beautiful house that is now his. Damien, whose real name is Edward, is adapting quickly and will start playing basketball in the soon. There, he meets Anton, who lives right next door and offers to take him out. That same night, they go to a club where all the women are staring at Damien, who is now a handsome young man, but he is still not used to answering questions about his life, job, and age, so people think he's kind of strange. Even so, Damien gets used to his new routine much faster than anyone thought. He starts to hang out with his friends, play basketball, sleep with beautiful women, take pills, go to clubs, and just have fun. After a while, this new routine no longer makes him happy, especially since he can't keep his daughter from noticing that he's sad. He forgets to take his medicine one day, and soon after that, he starts having hallucinations. In his hallucinations, he sees images of the army and a small town with a pumpkin tower. He also sees a mother living in the country with her sick little girl. Damien thinks it's because the dream is too real and strong. Later, he tells Dr. Albright says it's just a mix of his old memories and how he's feeling right now, and he's trying to get him to focus on something else. The doctor sends him to Hawaii and gives him twice as much medicine. He also tells him that he saw a sick little girl because he misses Clat and that the Latina woman in his hallucination is probably a one-night stand from his youth. But Damien didn't tell Albright that the woman was Latina, so he knew right away that we thought the doctor was guilty. He later tries to find the pumpkin tower because he knows something is wrong. It turns out that in a small town near St. Louis, there is an exact tower where people go to find answers. He decides to fool Albright and go to St. instead of going to Hawaii. He goes to the graveyard and digs up the box before he leaves. He put a grave in it. There is money, paperwork, and credit cards, so he gives them to someone and sends them to the airport. Albright sends one of his men after him, but Damien gets away from him quickly and flies to the small town. After a few hours, he gets right to the pumpkin tower. He sees a house next to the tower and knocks on the door, but no one is there. He knows there's more going on than meets the eye. Damien decides to go inside the house and finds medical bills stuck to parts of a respirator machine. Most importantly, he sees in it a picture of Madeline and Anna, the mother and daughter from his hallucination. In one of the pictures, he also sees his new self. It turned out that the body wasn't genetically engineered. Instead, it belonged to a real person. As he tries to deal with the hard truth, when Madeline gets back to her house, she points a gun at him. He tells her to calm down, and as she falls to the floor crying in shock because she thought her husband was dead, he slowly turns toward her. As he tries to explain how Albright's men broke into his house, knocked out Madeline, and tried to take Damien, his friend Anton shows up. Anton was part of the Phoenix Biogenetics and was spying on him the whole time. Anton says that Mark, Madeline's husband, agreed to give up his body in exchange for money that would pay for his daughter's medical care. Damien is surprised, so he goes up to Anton and asks him why Albright is a. The spy then tells him in a cold way that it's okay to be upset because he just bought a new car and found out it already had some miles on it. Also, he has no reason to go back to the house, even though he is angry, because they will kill Madeline and burn her things. Lucky for Madeline, the billionaire has a strong sense of right and wrong, so he decides to trick Albright's man and save her. He pretends to take his pills, so he goes to the bathroom and attacks one of them. Mark kills a few of Albright's men with the help of his army training. He then goes to wake up Madeline, but loses his pills in a fight. Anton and the others try to burn down the house, but Madeline and Damien get on the platform and start shooting them in the legs. Soon after, Damien kills everyone and runs with Mark's wife toward the car. Damien tells her a lie and acts like her husband, saying he agreed to do some dirty work to pay for Anna's medicine. They both go off to save. Anna, where are you? She also thinks Damien is her dad, so she runs up to him, hugs him, and yells that she knew he wasn't dead. Later, the three of them book a room at a motel, where Damien uses a computer to find out more about Phoenix Biogen. He finds out that Albright was one of Jensen's students, and he also finds out where Philly's, Dr. Jensen's wife says that he gets a migraine and starts hallucinating again because he doesn't have any pills. Madeline starts to worry, but Damien knows what to do. He decides to go see Philly's to find out more. The next morning, they get in the car and drive to where Jensen's wife is staying, which is a nursery home. He pretends to be a student doing research on Jensen's work and asks Philly's for the doctor's old papers and other papers. The old woman has Alzheimer's, so she thinks Damien is telling the truth and starts telling him all kinds of things. He finds out that Albright goes to see her every week, so he quickly figures out that Jensen is using Albright's spy. He asks Philly's to call Albright and ask him to come. When the doctor comes, Damien pulls a gun on him and tells him he needs more. Albright tells him a hard truth, though. The more pills he takes, the more of the Mark and his army training and fighting skills disappear. Damien's mind will go blank without the pills, and Mark will take over the body. Then, Damien kidnaps Albright and tells him what he wants. He picks him up and puts him on his lap. But as they walk down the hall, Albright's men attack and disarm him. They then take Damien away in a dark vehicle. When Madeline gets there, she punches one of Albright's men. Anton had moved into a new body. Since this isn't his first chat, he can quickly get used to the new vessel. Damien fights off the other guard, but Anton warns Madeline that Damien is hiding something and tells her to ask him about their daughter's birthday before the young couple runs away. When Damien and Madeline get into their car, Damien's worried mother tells them to stop. She wants to clear something up as soon as she can, especially after what happened with Anton. She asks Damien when Anna was born and about other parts of their life together. When he can't answer, he starts to explain what's going on, while Anna watches from the car and wonders if everything is okay. Madeline gets very upset and angry because Damien tricked her, and she doesn't want to tell her daughter that the man who looks just like her father is actually a stranger because it will make her sad. But every smart man also wants to kill her, so she has to work with Damien even though she doesn't like or trust him. The billionaire then comes up with a plan to ask Martin for help and put Anna and Madeline somewhere safe when they get to his friend's house. Damien shows Martin the truth by talking about things that only the two of them know. Then Martin agrees to help, and he plans how they can get away. Later, Damien tries to figure out how to tell little Anna that she will never see her father again. But he ends up making new, beautiful memories with her instead. He shows her how to swim, and the two of them have a lot of fun together while Madeline watches from the window. Happy, since Damien is in the body of her husband, she feels attracted to him. She asks to hear his heart and kisses him. Damien isn't sure what to do, so he starts telling her about his past to get her attention off of him. He tells her how he feels about her, and they talk about it honestly. Suddenly, Damien notices that all the mirrors in the house are covered. He knows that Martin's son died 2 years ago, so he starts to worry right away. He runs and tries to find Anna, who is playing with a little boy in a big room for kids. Damien figures out right away that Martin also brought his child to Phoenix Biogenetic and had a new body made for him. It turns out that Martin told Albright about them, and the killers are waiting outside as well. But Damien stands up to his friend and tells him that the body of the little kid wasn't made in a lab. Someone else's child was a real person. Martin is horrified and sickened by what he sees, so he decides to help them. In this case, he really walks Madeline and Anna through a forest to a safe place while Damien drives away in a car. Soon after, he gets into a car chase with Albright's men who are trying to catch and kill him. They shoot at each other and crash their cars into each other. Everyone gets into a huge car. Damien gets out of the car and checks to make sure that everyone is dead before heading to the diner to meet Madeline and Martin. But Martin is the only one who shows up. He tells Damien how Madeline and Anna were able to beat him through the forest. They asked a strange car on the road for help. They didn't know that it was Albright's men, so they were taken away, and Martin couldn't help because they were far away. Damien learns, too, as a way, Martin hid a business card from Phoenix Biogenetic. Most importantly, he finds out that Martin has figured out how to make all of Bright's pills and can make them from scratch. But Damien starts to wonder if he should keep taking pills, especially since he's killing Mark by doing so. He decides to wait until later to make a choice, since his main goal now is to save Madeline and Anna. The plan is to wait 12 hours before taking the pill so that Mark's memories can be used to find out more about where the lab is. During his withdrawal, he spots a Mardi Gras float storage near Albright's lab. So, he goes to New Orleans to look for them. He goes to New Orleans the next day and finds the lab right next to a place where Mardi Gras supplies are kept. He sneaks in and attacks a few guards without anyone noticing. In the room where the machine transfers consciousness, he sees 2 new bodies. Albright suddenly comes out from behind a glass wall. He tells Damien in a sarcastic way that Madeline's body was perfect for a new client and that Anna's organs won't go to waste. Damien gets mad and shoots at the glass that separates them. At that moment, 2 men walk in. Anton's mind will now move into his body and use it as a new home. Damien finds a bullet and swallows it before getting into the machine. No one sees him do it. The next thing we know, Anton is in Mark's body when he wakes up. Albright starts to ask questions to find out if it really is Anton. Once he is sure, he gives him a mission to kill Madeline and Anna. But when Anton walks into the room where the mother and child are staying, he kills the guards and saves the mother and child. It turned out that it was the body of Damien and Mark. They start to run away and fight against Albright's men. Soon, they end up in a room with a glass wall between them and Albright. Damien tells the doctor that before the first procedure, he carefully listened to the instructions. He remembered that the bodies can't change if they have metal on them. He was able to stay in Mark's body because he ate a bullet. Damien is the only one who has the pill, so Albright doesn't think he will kill him. But he has no idea that Martin figured out the code. So Damien uses a torch to burn the doctor. Anna and Madeline go somewhere safe after they get out of the lab. Martin found something for them, but Damien didn't come. He goes to see Claire instead. He pretends to be a friend of her father's and starts to talk. He tells Claire that Damien was sad that he didn't get to spend more time with her when they were both kids and that he was proud of her. Then he gives her a letter and walks away, but not before giving her a quick glance. The next thing we see from outside the window is Damien waking up in a hotel. He doesn't know what's going on and finds a video of himself on a computer. Damien is no longer in Mark's body, as it turns out. The billionaire decided to stop taking the pill and let Mark run his business. This gave Mark back the life that had been taken from him. Mark is shocked, but he is also very thankful. He then goes to join Madeline and Anna on a beautiful tropical island, where they are now living. We really appreciate you watching. If you enjoy this video, please give it a like. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel with the notification bell because it is really important for us. Thank you.